Uh, Hello, everyone. Uh, I'm Shalu from Living Consciously Foundation. Uh, Living Consciously Foundation, it focuses and it works in the domain of emotional health, human consciousness, opportunities for spiritual growth. And today, I'm very excited. We are very excited to share some details about our upcoming 8-week workshop series on intuition. Uh, so this series, it evolved from we did our workshop series with the Lasagna, and that proved to be a very powerful experience for all the co-travelers, all the participants who were there in the workshop. And during these workshops, we had the chance to explore our intuition and imagination. So, this session is all about discussing what is it that we are going to experience in our this workshop series on intuition that we are coming up with, which will start from November 3rd every Friday at 8 p.m. So, for those of you who are new to this platform, uh, allow me to introduce Lasagna to you. Uh, Actually, Lasagna, why don't you, introduce yourself and share a bit about your journey in exploring this dimension of life and how you begin to delve into your own uh, intuitive abilities?
Oh, okay. Well, I usually like it the way you always put it so nicely, but I'll give it a shot today, Shalu. Hi, everybody. I'm Lasanya Pillay. I live in Johannesburg, South Africa. Um, I have been many things in my time on this earth, but for your purposes in this workshop, I am an Imagineer currently. So I really enjoy doing intuitive exercises and exploring the imagination, using colors and having creative activities with people in workshops. I like working with you. I like learning from you as much as you are learning from me. And really, I just enjoy the transformational space for all of us that are in this workshop. So yeah, I've had a strange journey into imagination. It just kind of dropped as an intuitive question one day. I started doing mindful workshops while I was in business, but the world didn't seem quite ready for it. But it seemed that I was very ready for it. So I continued with my exploration on my own, as it didn't seem to work out for people around me at that stage. It was still very new. So I did a lot of exploration and found, wow, there's so much that we can do just to guide ourselves. There's so much of support that we can receive intuitively to just lead ourselves. And so I've been doing that for a few years now, and I've found great benefits in it. And I was pleased to do the workshop with Living Consciously a couple of weeks back. And I was pleased to find that there are people that are so ready for this. And when we come together in alignment, it's so exciting because you can have a bit of crazy all round and you feel free and you can say what you want, you can see what you want, most importantly. And somebody will hear the story. And sometimes we're just creating visions that just it has a ripple effect because like the next person and the next person sees something more. I mean, I found that I had so many other great ideas that came about from the workshop. So that's what I enjoy doing now is just having imaginations come together and exploring together and coming up with new ideas. So that's how I ended up here with you. It was a bit of a journey, but I'm now glad to see that there are people far and wide that are so ready for this. I think that's about as much as I can say about me for now.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything, Shalu?
Wonderful. Wonderful. So now, let's dive into the heart of the series.
Mhm.
Can you provide us with a personal insight into the structure of these workshops? And you have divided these workshops into three sections. So why they are I know that you have thoughtfully divided them. So can you just walk us through that? Uh,
Okay, I don't think I very thoughtfully did it. I intuitively did it. So, because, like I say, I've also learned with these workshops not to overplan. I will have a general outline for each one, but depending on the energies that come together, it gets tailored according to what people need, all of us together, how we gel. So there's a number of activities I have. They will be creative, they'll be mindful, they'll be intuitive, and depending on what we're ready for when we're all together, we'll see what comes. But basically, the general outline in this is that I start with begin in your imagination because there's nothing in life that starts without going through your imagination first. If you just test it out at any point, you just take a moment to think about it, you'll see that there's nothing that ends up outside of you without passing through your imagination first. So that's why it makes sense to start with begin in your imagination. And you create from your imagination. You decide what's going to be going through your imagination. You're either consciously or unconsciously using it. So begin in your imagination is structured to give you a taste of what is your role in all of this. What are your intuitive muscles that you can learn how to play? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And each person's will be different. So begin in your imagination is about giving you a taster of what your intuition feels like, what your imagination is showing to you via the spiritual senses. So we begin in your imagination that way. IDA is about idea, decision, action. That's about taking what you've flexed in your imagination and now you're starting to apply it. So if you've got an idea, whether it's a business idea, whether it's a life idea, it doesn't matter what it is, but come with that to the workshop because now we'll focus your imaginative skills and bring in a bit of a law of attraction, subconscious mind, uh, uh, like programming for yourself, so that we just teach you how to think about things, how to see things, so that you're focusing the right energy towards something you want to achieve. It doesn't necessarily mean that that specific idea is going to come to fruition, but it will tailor your energies toward what you actually want. So that's what we want. Because a lot of the time, we think we know what we want. We think we have this brilliant plan, but it's actually a feeling that we are going after. So in IDA, we will really zone in on that feeling and let the idea then take its own shape or form and eventually move you into action mode. So by the end of that workshop, you must be in a position where once you identify the feeling you're going after, you will take actions more confidently because you'll be familiar. When something happens that's related to your idea, you won't sit there and be doubtful, should I, shouldn't I? You will understand the feeling of go for it or no, it's not this. So that's how it moves you into inspired action. And then lastly is the intrinsic path. I've saved the individual journey, getting to know more about yourself for last, because that one, you tend to get, it's a bit deep and people are more resistant to it. So I put it at the end and not the beginning because I want you to build up your momentum with your intuition in the first two. So by the time you have to start now looking at yourself and having analysis, you won't be so judgmental. You'll be more open and free to go with the feeling. So that's how I put them all together. In the intrinsic path will have a lot of self-exploration, just getting to know. I think I wrote the line is, how do you like your eggs? It's a simple thing, is that you could be eating eggs every day, many days in your life, but you never really thought about, do I actually like eating eggs fried or boiled or poached? Or do I just eat it this way is because my mother made it for me that way all my life? Or I saw my friend eating it that way. How do you actually like your eggs? So that's just like some sort of generic line I came up with, but you look at it for each person on different aspects of the things that you like or you've been enjoying all of your life or not enjoying and just not noticing. So all of the workshops will be a playful exploration. Everything is free space, humor, colors, lots of sharing, and just, yeah, playfulness. So that's how they all come together.
Wow. Wow. Uh, Yeah, I don't know what, but it's coming up to me like very organically. Uh, can you, I know we can't, define or describe or what intuition is. Like we have used this word so many times in our life, but I know it's something which is more like an energetic experience or uh, we can't put it into words, but can you give us a little and walk us through what do we mean by when we say it's a workshop series on intuition, like what do we mean by when we use this word intuition?
So intuition is like that little voice inside you that you would have had all along in life, but we tend to ignore it because again, we think that, I'm imagining it or it's a fantasy or it didn't really happen. Because until we have something very logical and evidence in front of us, we don't trust it. But an example of intuition would be I bought lettuce seeds, and in our environment, that's not something that just grows easily. And I tried planting it last year in a spot in our garden, and only one sprouted and very, very small. So this year, I wasn't going to try and plant the lettuce. In fact, I planted everything else, but for some reason, I left two spots open in the garden. And I wasn't sure what I was going to plant there. But I heard it in my head, just one morning say, plant the lettuce in this spot, it will grow. And so I did. And it wasn't even 1 week. All of the lettuce sprouted within a few days, full on. And yet last year, I wasn't even able to get one. But if I didn't like trust that little voice that said, plant it here, it will grow. The same thing that happened with an orchid that didn't flower for 5 years. And I was walking past the orchid, and the orchid, suddenly just gave me a sensation, just move me up on the windowsill so that I get a little bit of sunlight. And orchids generally, in my experience, don't need much sunlight. And as soon as I put it up on the window, it wasn't even a week later, it started to shoot the stems that have the blossoms on it. And it had been 5 years since this orchid had done anything. So that's examples of intuition.
Wow, that's very powerful, very powerful. Yeah, because I feel that, some of us, since we are a kind of, as humanity, we are so much programmed to be in our head spaces and some of us, like, I've heard like many of enduring in circles and, people they say that, oh my God, I can't access, my intuition, where it is, like where it is present. So it feels like, each one of us has the ability or it's like naturally there and we can just tap into the power of intuition and find the answers of life within ourselves. And also I know that there are a lot of spiritual traditions that are lost nowadays, and I was reading about this tribe called Huchel tribe, I think. Huchel Indian
Mhm.
tribe, they put it's or also it is one of the shamanic tradition, and they put tremendous emphasis on training on intuition, like focusing our awareness so that we may find guidance within our hearts. Like we don't have to go anywhere to find out the answers, and it's all in your that heart space. And I think when once you connect to that
Mhm.
space, you'll automatically
It's a
you'll be able.
sensation.
Yeah.
Each person will experience that sensation differently. And but once you isolate that sensation that you know what it feels like, it makes you so much more confident when you're going to decision make. Is that you no longer just rely for somebody else to confirm it's the right decision or several textbooks or several other experiences to confirm what you can know for yourself without anybody else influencing that this is the way I need to go. This is the path I need to take. This is the experience that I need to have. And that just that sensation in your own body will be all that you need to in order to take that step. It makes a very big difference. So much of time saved.
Yeah.
I had, if I may, an experience like when I was journaling, and I had an experience myself on what it meant to abide in the word. Is that, whenever I've heard that line, I assumed it to mean abide in the word, meaning that we must abide with scriptural verses, whatever is passed down to us in like our religious text, almost, that you abide in the word of the teaching. And intuitively, it had come again that there's also another aspect of that, is that abiding in the word is that inner guidance that comes through, and you'll know how right it is for you when you listen to it and you take the action based on that and you see how things work for you. That's abiding in the word that is received from your inner self, because the more we abide in that, the more it wants to give you more guidance. I mean, it's always been there, but we've just never recognized it. So that's the other thing that happens in these workshops. It's like right from the start, it's like we're resuscitating this imagination that was always there, the intuition that works with the imagination, because you cannot actually understand intuition without seeing it imaginatively, because it's invisible. You're not going to get clear, hard facts that are in front of you that you say, this is my intuition. That's why you need your imagination to access it, because you then start learning how to trust your spiritual sense of seeing, hearing, feeling, rather than your physical sense of wanting to have concrete forms in front of you to say, right, because I'm holding this in my hand and you can see it and you can see it and you can see it, then it's real. It's real enough when I can sense it and I'm taking my actions there. That is like abiding in the word that's guiding you.
Wow, powerful. Thank you for explaining it so beautifully. Wow. I'm so excited and looking forward how about this workshop and what is all that we are going to experience. And for all those people who feel that they are disconnected from their intuition, I think that will be a very beautiful and empowering start for them. So this takes me to my next question uh, about age group. Is there any recommended specific group who can join these workshops, or is it like open for all the souls? Like,
well, I find that actually it's open for everyone. The only thing that would differentiate or categorize people is that it must be a choice that comes of ease. Whether you watch this video or read the brochure or whatever it is that you hear, you will immediately know that this is something you want to do. It's a workshop that's for people that are ready. As you know, I'm not a coach. I'm not even aiming to be a teacher in this kind of space. I'm a facilitator. So I facilitate this creation of transformational spaces where you can come in, you can learn. We're all going to learn. Even I'm going to learn. There's new things that will come up. The only outcome that I would aim for in this, for myself, for the people that we work with, is that you will walk away from a workshop like this feeling more confident to lead yourself. That's what. So anybody that is ready for that, you'll know it when you see here, you will already know it through your spiritual senses. This is where I need to be. So that's what this workshop is for.
This totally resonates. Yeah, very powerful. Yeah. So this will bring us to the end of our conversation. And so those of you who are watching this recording, um, join us if you feel, called to this kind of space. And these workshops, they really, they allow you to tap into this boundless realm of imagination and intuition. So for more details about the workshop series, you can go to our Instagram page and also to our website, Living Consciously with double y.com, and double Y with extra love. Okay. So you will find all the details about the program there. And also, thank you so much, dearest Lasagna. I'm super excited for this journey with you and with other co-travelers. Thank you.
Thank you too. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.